Have you ever felt that your work's not getting you anywhere and your job is just really frustrating and you can't seem to make progress? Well, listen in today, and I'll kind of show you how we can start to overcome that. So, it's nice and simple too. So, what do I mean by this? First, the thing is, I was struggling at work. There was a situation where the idea of a promotion seemed so bleak and far in the future. It was communicated to me. It really did a number on me internally. And then other elements started to show up where it seemed that the quality of my work was really disappointing and required substantial reworking. This really gutted my sense of confidence and ability to know if I'm doing anything right. And that was really difficult to deal with at the time. I remember feeling really down and out about it. So I think I kind of took things back to basics. Now, what do I mean by this? I slowed down with my work. I was more purposeful and put more structuring into place. I started to understand the point of progression, storytelling, and having more compacted sentences, so I didn't try to cram everything into one sentence. That kind of helped me to structure and stagger things a lot better, to develop a more natural and organic flow in my writing. And it kind of was helpful, but kind of the idea of not getting a promotion, I was able to kind of channel a lot of that frustration and extra energy into other things. So basically the work was a chipping away, if that makes sense. So what I mean by that is I was able to focus on my running as well as making sure the rooms here are rented. But then I was able to focus also on the idea of buying a house and doing all the preparation for that. So I kind of let work almost simmer in the background. But then a really interesting thing started to emerge. While it was somewhat slow, frustrating, and uncertain if I was making any progress or making any development, I started to get a form of recognition for something that I had done and stepped out all by myself. I took a bit longer to prepare it, but then when I first got the feedback that said, this is right, it's really well structured, it gave me that confidence to know and that feedback loop to want to go back and keep doing it. So the thing is, when you're not doing well at work, it can kind of feel more difficult to engage with your task or just do more work because you're kind of feeling like it's more of a slog. And that's kind of what this first thing gave me. But then with that, because of the conditioning that I had been told before, it gave me this real sense of imposter syndrome. Like, maybe I'm being told this because I'm such a friendly and nice person, which would mean that I'm not being told the whole story and it's all a lie. So that was kind of what was floating in my head, even though I was getting like reinforcement to say what I'm doing is better and I'm showing development, and there's kind of like a progression to the next point is more clearer and more certain, if that makes sense. I mean, not certain, but at least a vision towards it. And then it really wasn't until a couple months after the fact where someone had reviewed my work and kind of this, I guess, if you think of it from an anime perspective, a time skip, if you would, that it was really, really obvious for them that I had made a great deal of progress. What was the case that my work needed substantial reworking was that my work not only needed slight modifications, stylistic tweaking, if you will. This kind of affirmed that I'm maybe not as much of an imposter, and maybe I really am tangibly unlocking another element in my ability to produce good and meaningful work. And that's kind of only happened recently, and it was a really big thing to kind of note that come through. And internally it kind of made me feel that I want to do more work. So in the sense that it started like the snowball effect, where, as stupid as it seems, as you're kind of, I guess, conquering the mountain in the sense to say work, the more work that will be given to you, you're more looking forward to it, and you're more likely to do those things better than you otherwise would have. So it just creates this like positive feedback loop where you get all these different things and you just keep wanting to succeed. And that's basically what I kind of want to impress upon you today. But I guess what happened was I went from the mentality of chasing the promotion or chasing and being so fixated on something to kind of taking that step back, I guess being cool about it. If you see those movies where like there's a cool guy who kind of doesn't really care, it was almost like what I had kind of done in a sense. But I mean internally, like I was trying my hardest to do it somewhat, or kind of really taking a step back and trying to figure out how to evolve what I'm doing. And then that kind of meant that having that on autopilot almost meant that by the time things were reviewed, it was really clear objectively that a great deal of progression had been made. And that was really important. So an extra point I kind of wanted to interject here, I guess Sal in the post-filming point, I'm just going to cut this in, is that the best way I can describe kind of the sense of getting better at work and kind of seeing how it all comes together is when you start something, you're at the bottom. You know, you start at the bottom of the food chain at work, and to quote Poundcake, which is a great movie to watch, with Daniel Craig before he got cast in Casino Royale, I believe, is when you start, you're at the bottom. Take a lot of shit, right? Then, as you get better, you start to figure things out. You still take shit, but you take less shit. Then eventually, you'll take so less shit. You don't take any shit at all. Sorry that I'm cursing. But then the funny thing happens. You get to a point where once you don't take any shit, you forget what the shit smells like, because that's how far separated you are. And that's, I guess, kind of the point about how it works and what it feels like in a corporate sense. So that's something I wanted to leave you with, and kind of I'll put it back into the video now. And then I kind of capitalized on this further because I kind of remembered the book Deep Work by Carl Newport, who talks about the idea of distraction and kind of distraction retention. So say, for example, you're at work, you check your phone or you go talk to someone. Even though you're going back to the task at hand, there's still that like lingeringness to, or the sillage to what you just did. So your brain's not fully wired to the task that you're doing. I guess it's like the thing where everyone says multitasking is a great thing, but I think if you kind of focus on things specifically directly and kind of do them in full and then move on to the next thing when it's done, you're able to really do each of those things much better. And that's kind of like what I kind of came to realize here. And by being even more focused and really having that sense of deep work, I think was really critical to kind of help that progression too, to kind of really, as everyone says, I guess, like lock in or focus, to effectively like conquer the mountain of work in that way. That way, when I got more work, it was more fun, and then I just got through that work, I guess, more efficiently because I was so much more in the zone. And that was kind of really cool to know. But I guess to kind of bring this full circle, I mean, of course, a promotion in its at this stage still isn't guaranteed, or the idea of getting to that next level isn't. But in this kind of journey to this, without realizing it, I've kind of unlocked something better. I seem to be in a real groove right now where I'm really enjoying the work that I'm doing, and it seems to feel a lot more effortless, which kind of means I've been able to find a bit of a groove. Like, I like starting early and kind of really doing my best work in the morning, because I noticed that I just seem to be more focused for that. And then that way, by the time the afternoon comes around, there's still the work to be done, don't get me wrong, but you kind of feel like you really accomplished a lot. So it just kind of further enforces the idea of doing more great work after lunch to kind of really just get to that next level. And I think that's what's going to really hold me in good stead. So like, I guess it's like disappointing as it sounds, like, you know, you shouldn't be chasing the promotion will come to you, focus on doing the good work. It really is true, but I guess more than that, you need to figure out how to, I guess, not stop beating yourself up, and really, if you've got this extra energy of really wanting to push for something, you need to leverage your time in another aspect. And that's something I want to share in another video where I kind of talk about the point about how to get that get more money opposed to chasing a promotion, which is really interesting. And that's kind of something I did kind of 2 years ago. It started on that, but it kind of didn't come about until I was kind of rejected, if that makes sense, at work, which I will cover in a whole nother video. But I guess to kind of round this off full circle, in conquering the mountain at first, sometimes it can seem that your effort or endeavors to do it won't really get you that far, won't, give you what you need to actually get up the mountain. But what you might find is, by taking a bit of a step back, starting again, starting slower, starting to really develop a sense of the tortoise and the hare, and steadily chipping away at things and doing the unsexy work, where you're being more structured, thoughtful, present, engaged in a flow state, you actually find that you will progress up the mountain without realizing it. It's almost like you're on like one of those ski lifts where you sit on it and then it goes up the mountain. Like you're moving, but you're not really doing anything almost. And that's kind of the, I guess, automation of kind of how it can kind of feel by, I guess, trusting in that process, and knowing that everything will work out through your efforts and that you really can do it. And that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today, that I do believe you can do these things, that you can conquer mountains and conquer life. And if you're struggling in your 9 to 5, know that I believe in you, but more than that, you internally inside have everything you need to do it, and that you can do it. Simple as that. Conquer mountains, conquer life. Thank you.